Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Alex. I am a real estate investor, and today I have another video in the video series that I'm making on the two-call close. So in this video, I want to go over the start of the offer call. So this is call two. This is when you set the upfront contract that you are going to get a yes or no on this call, right up until when you present the number, what that looks like, and how you effectively do that to increase your chances of them saying yes to your number. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right. So here we are at the offer call script. So when you're doing this, a couple things to keep in mind. Too, first, you want to have like kind of like a jovial tonality to you, like you're excited, you want to do business with this person, and you're happy, right? So you definitely don't want to be like down and glum for sure. You want to, have tonality, have inflection in your voice, and be upbeat a little bit. Another thing is that is very helpful is if you kind of start in your previous conversations or as early as possible, really, you start to plant seeds that when I do give you an offer, I need a yes or no. So the earlier you can start doing that, the more effective this frame is going to be because you need the frame to be, I am going to give you a number. You are going to tell me yes or no, and we're either going to part ways as friends or we're going to do business together. So the sooner you can start to establish that frame, the more effective it's going to be. But we're going to go over it again here at the start of this call just to hopefully re-emphasize it. But if you haven't done it at all, then this is when we set that. So, hey, Dave, this is Alex. So you still have 5 to 10 minutes for a quick conversation? Okay, great. So as promised, I spoke with the team and they let me know what the property qualifies for. But before we proceed, I do need to ask you a few serious but easy questions. The first, is there anyone else that needs to get involved in this process before you are able to make a decision? And this is just confirming that we got all the decision makers on the call, because that is basically a prerequisite for if you are going to get a yes no on this call. And second, at the end of our conversation, after I let you know what the property qualifies for, do you feel you will have enough information to give me a confident yes or no? And here they can either be like, yeah, that's cool. This is what we talked about. I'm on board. Or they can give you some pushback. When they give you some pushback, my favorite thing to do is pull away a little bit. And if this person, is a motivated person that you've probably disqualified and you're about to give an offer and everything like that, 99% of the time, I'll say that pull away is very effective and they'll pull you back in, right? So again, if you decide you don't want to work with us, that is totally perfectly fine too. You definitely will not hurt my feelings. But since we are giving out so many offers on so many properties, and since we do have limited resources and we can really only close on about 3 a month, we really can't have any offers in limbo. Like, for example, if we did just shoot out 15 offers to people and everyone came back and accepted, we definitely would not be able to close on all of them. So my goal here is really not to pressure you at all. My goal is just to make sure that when I do present a solution to you or really anyone else, that is a solution that you can count on. So again, if you're not ready now, that is perfectly fine. Is this something where we should just circle back in a couple months and we can see what the property qualifies for at that time? And then they'll be like, no, like we can do this, or they'll kind of present to you what challenges they're going to have for saying yes or no, and then you can attack that and then decide like if you want to proceed here, if they're actually going to give you yes or no, or if we should set this up on a different call, if they're missing some piece of information or they're missing a decision maker or XYZ, right? So then just reschedule. If they say yes, that's cool. So then you just want to kind of get double confirmation. So, okay, great. I do appreciate that, Dave. Like I mentioned, I love a yes, I love a no. But the only thing that I can't deal with is a maybe because it essentially handcuffs my funding. And that could prevent me from helping out another family. So again, after I give you this offer, is it fair for me to assume that anything other than a yes is a no? And yes, so perfect. We got the double confirmation. Okay, great. So what it looks like if we do decide to work together, we would make this as easy and simple as possible. We would send over our offer letter on DocuSign, review it together, make sure everything is clear and there are no typos. It only takes about 5 minutes since it's just 3 pages. And once we get your autograph, we would then send that over to the title company, where they would do the majority of the legwork along with my transaction coordinator, Lexi. She's an absolute rock star. She's going to help us get this thing done for you. Do you have any questions about what that process would look like? So this is essentially setting the frame that, hey, if you accept this offer, the next step is we're going to sit here right now, right together. I'm going to send you the DocuSign. We're going to go over together. We're going to make sure everything is clear. You understand everything. There's no typos, and we're going to get this thing approved like right now. So it's not like, yeah, send it over and I'll, over the next couple of days when I'm not busy, I'll sign it. It's like, we're absolutely not doing that. So you need to set that upfront contract as well. If we do choose to work together, I'm going to email this. We're going to go over it together on DocuSign right now. So then you transition into the property. And this is where you want to summarize their motivation. You want to get them feeling that pain once again. And you don't want this to be like totally separate, because on that first call, that's probably when you dug out all that pain and you figured out what their problems are and what they're actually dealing with, what they're actually trying to accomplish. So you need to kind of remind them of that here. So that has two advantages. One, it's going to lower their action threshold to kind of like remind them, like, yeah, I do have problems. I do need to solve this. And two, maybe they bring up something else that's an issue that you can kind of like pivot or make that a part of your offer too. So that can be useful. So perfect, Dave. So about the property, just to make sure I've got everything. You were dealing with this, you're an out-of-state landlord. There's tenants in there now. They're not exactly paying on time all the time. And you're afraid that if you did list this thing, they would just totally destroy the place. Is that everything? Or is there anything else that I was missing there? And they'll say, yeah, that's what I'm looking to accomplish, blah, blah, blah. Great. So now you roll into how your offer basically benefits them, and you want to kind of align it with the problem they're facing, right? So in that example I just gave, you would want to mention that we're not going to list it on MLS. So it's going to be a private sale. We're going to buy it with the tenants in it. We'll deal with the eviction, that sort of thing. So perfect, Dave. On this one, we were going to buy this thing privately, so you don't have to deal with realtors or listing it on the market, putting your house on the internet. We're going to buy it with the tenants in it, so it's no fuss, and you don't even have to notify them. And then, then you want to also kind of let them know, like, this is a net in your pocket number, so they don't kind of confuse it with any MLS offer where you'd have to pay realtor commissions and closing costs and all that stuff. So also, as I said before, this is what you would walk away with in your pocket, minus your mortgage, liens, and any property taxes, which is just a state of Ohio thing, or insert your state. So you don't have to pay any closing costs, you don't have to pay any realtor commissions, and the property is sold as is, Dave. With all that being said, your property qualifies for $300,000. And then you shut up. And then you do not say another word. And the very last thing you want to say is the number, right? So there's a lot of power there in just saying the number and letting it hang there. So you want to think about the reverse is very, very like weak, and where you say the number and then you spend 5 minutes justifying it. No, you want to say all your justification and then the number. Because even if you did do that, you said the number first and then all the justification, they're totally just like checked out, just thinking about the number. And this is also a time when you might want to just put yourself on mute and it might get uncomfortable and it might take an extremely long time. In your mind, it's probably only going to be like 20 seconds, but it's going to feel like 10 minutes of just silence. But this is where you're going to have to really gauge their reaction and figure out what your next steps are. So we'll go over that in the next video on this, what to do after you present the number, because that's really when the offer call starts. That's when the negotiation and everything starts to happen. But this is at least how you set those upfront contracts, set the frame so that they can't say maybe, so they're going to tell you yes or no, and how you present that number to essentially increase your chances of them saying yes to the number, right? So that's pretty much it on this video. Let me know what you guys took away, and hopefully you're liking this video series, and the next one should be the last one, so we'll have a complete series.